It's good to have dreams, but it's also good to know if those dreams are possible, if they're in the realm of what's realistic. But making plans and having goals, dreams is good. Our dreams need to be, and our goals need to be measurable. They need to be specific, but they also need to be realistic. When I was a little boy, my brother and I and the neighbor boy, we decided we were going to build an airplane. So up in the barn there were old boards up there, and so we got nails and we laid boards out and we started nailing boards together, just one right on top of the other. And we were building and building. We put wings on it. We were really working on it. Hours and hours we spent building an airplane. Um, and we were quite fascinated with airplanes, and we were sure this was going to work. We were going to fly. We were making plans to fly. Um, my younger sister and the neighbor girl, they were wondering if we would take them for a ride when we got our airplane built. And we said, no, 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 you're going to be too busy selling tickets. You won't have time to ride in the airplane. So we envisioned, you know, people, all our neighbors coming and wanting to fly in our airplane, and we'd be taking them for rides, and we were going to have a business doing airplane rides. Um, as we got the frame built and got a bunch of boards nailed together, we knew we were going to need engines. So we were trying to figure out what we were going to do for engines, and we were talking about how to get engines and what we should do for engines. Around that time, we went to uh, Maryland to visit some of my mother's cousins, I think, and my dad and the neighbor children's dad, they took an interest in our airplanes. They would come up to the barn and they would ask us questions about them. I think they were trying to help us to think through this whole thing of building an airplane, but we were sure it was going to work. And so we were going to Maryland, and we were going down the highway, and there we saw a semi truck and had some big um, things on the truck. And so we're asking our dad, "What are those?" And he said, "Those are airplane engines." And our hearts sank because we realized if those were airplane engines, our airplane was never going to be big enough to be able to have engines mounted on like that. So the whole project kind of fell by the wayside. Um, we dropped it and we never really finished it. We gave up on it. Years later, a few years later, we were moving and we had a sale, an auction to sell the farm equipment and things that we had there before we moved. And as we were getting ready for the sale, men were getting things organized and ready to be sold. And they came across these boards that were just nailed one right on top of the other. And they're like, "What's this?" Oh, he said, that was those were our airplanes, but it didn't make much sense to them. Um, but our dads let us do those things anyway, even though they knew the airplanes would never fly. But having goals is good. Having dreams is good. We also need enough of information to know, are they realistic? Is there a possibility that they really can happen?